It's a well-known fact that when you're being interviewed by Marty Tuppers Rogers. That's me, by the way, for all the uninitiated. When you're being interviewed by Marty Tuppers Rogers, you're going to face a certain line of inquiry that might make you uncomfortable. I ask the hard questions. I've built a career on the hard questions. Because I'm an opinionated guy. I've essentially created my own format, which I call the interviewatorial. Yes, the interviewatorial. I understand this can make for difficult viewing. Especially for the average viewer whose brain isn't far-stretched by the typical chat show offerings. The kind with people talking about their latest blockbuster or three-chord musical release. Or perhaps I should refer to these as so-called musical releases. The so-called referring to the music part and not the release part. Of course it is a release, that's why we have to suffer through interviews with these reprobates. Anyhow, when you're being interviewed by Marty Tuppers Rogers, you had obviously better be ready, since I'm not going to ask vapid questions like, how's it going these days, or what's it like to work with Lady Gaga, or that form of rubbish. Well, cancel culture doesn't like this. Let me clarify. Cancel culture doesn't like it when you ask probing questions of complexity in regard to subjects that it is interested in but don't push the agenda it wishes to push. And, yes, I know cancel culture is not a living, breathing thing, it cannot like, it cannot push, it cannot cancel. I would hope you understand the fanciful way I'm portraying cancel culture in order to get my point across. All this is part of the confusing outcry about a simple question I asked, which was, in what ways are you woke? Immediately, the Twitter people and whoever exploded with accusations that I was demanding some form of laundry list of. Now what did they call it? Bona fides. I was demanding a laundry list of bona fides from a person who should not have to justify what makes their views on certain subjects valid and worthy of being paid attention to and respected. I was also accused of using the word woke in a mocking way. I believe the phrase that was used was that I weaponized the woke during the interview. Well, I can assure everyone that in my everyday life I use the word woke in a jolly and inclusive way. When I use the word woke, I mean it to be heard by all races, creeds, and colors, by all genders that I've heard so much about, and all the other things that I'm aware of but can't specifically name right at this moment. And while I certainly use the word woke in a manner that is meant to evoke the way the young people hurl it out, I also use it in regard to the concept of being woken up. In the morning. From sleep. I admit that doesn't qualify as one of my hard questions, and I apologize if I misrepresented it that way, but apparently for some, it is a difficult question, otherwise I wouldn't have to offer a response to the incident. Which can barely be counted as an incident, really. And for the record, the young gentleman. And Lord knows I hope he is a gentleman in all the meanings of the word, or I fear I am in for more trouble. The young gentleman reported that he is woke up by his dog licking his toes. Which I think is a delightful way to wake up, personally. I suppose my staff will let me know if the Twitter people think so, too. I would suggest, though, that if they don't agree, then perhaps they ought to try it. Get a dog and try it. Happy toes, in this case, might make happy lives. And I'll be able to get on with it and start asking those hard questions again.